So what you see here, it's a pretty large pile of freshly cut cedar trunks. And in the San Antonio area of the Texas Hill Country, the variety of cedars are very gnarly, I guess you could call them. They're not very straight, but they grow pretty thick, and they grow pretty fast. I mean, they're a pretty good crop if you could manage to do something with them. And I'm a pretty resourceful guy. I looked into it, and you can do mortise and tendon joints and make furniture out of these things. And you know, the way that the trunks wrap around and whatnot, you're never going to have the same piece of furniture. So very nice. There's another shot of the fence line coming from the other way. You may or not be able to hear the thunder off in the distance. So I will show you a little bit about what I'm doing here. Here's this, just a massive trunk, and that right there, just yanking that out is going to disturb this fence right in here. But this was built just 30-40 years ago, and over time this holding tank right here is overfilled, and then you see the lowest point is right there in the middle, and it ends up going over the top. Well, it was originally built to basically run off of either side, with the high point in the very middle. And I don't know what, maybe just rain directly on the dam has stopped that from being effective, or really don't know. But usually I don't like to leave stuff laying around without having quartered it up. But here I was pretty tired, and I really didn't want to have to deal with this at all. So this is basically a full tree that came off of this stump. And I've just got a nice little grouping of trees here that I have to take out. On this side, I will actually bring the 16-foot trailer along the side of the road and load up whatever isn't a tree trunk that I'll pile up. But you see the damage here, you know. It's just, I don't know if you can really tell very well. Let's see if I can get over here a little better. Sorry for the shaky camera. There's just absolutely no way it's not terribly shaky. So, you know, you've got coming right along here, and then you'd start to see the wear. And it is, and over time it's torn away at this side of the dam, and there's not a lot of room right here between the fence and the dam. So, you're not going to get a lot of tree growth. But right over here where it has eaten out, you've got this huge, and then of course you got nothing but a bunch of water to feed these trees, and a lot of trees have popped up. And one of the difficult challenges is these trees that grow into the fence itself. And so I'm going to have to come through here. I trimmed some of these up, and just trying to be able to get in through here. But I'll end up chopping everything right here completely out. And again, with the bumpy camera. And right over here, you'll see I did some burning down here. I mean, this whole area right here, where you see that tree and that oak tree, this was all just full, absolutely just as thick as that or that. And I managed to get all of that out. So I just need to finish taking that one tree out there. And everything that was on this side, I drugged over here to this one spot and burnt. And you see I've got a lot of tall grass around here. One secret that you may not know about as far as containing grass fires is having a weed eater. And that may sound silly when you think of the prospect of this place being just engulfed in flames. Well, if it's engulfed in flames, you're a little late. But if you're on top of it and you're watching, and it starts to spread just a little bit, unless you get just a monster wind, which you shouldn't be burning if that's the case, then you know, you fire up that weed eater, and you go and I mean the first thing you do is you create a little break, you know, a kind of a little buffer between where, you know, all the grass and where you're going to burn. That's what I did there, and you really can't see it because it's been a little while since I did that. And you actually let the grass burn between where you're going to burn and where the buffer is. And that way, because if it burns once, it can't burn again. And so that's safety right there. And then you've got this huge zone between where your hot fire is and where the rest of the grass is. But the principle behind the weed eater is you get the thing fired up and you actually put it down on a little bit of grass fire, and it robs the oxygen from that little localized area. And fire needs oxygen to burn. And you'd be surprised on if you had several people, if you had a grass fire that was really going and you had several dudes with weed eaters, they could contain that pretty easily. But everything you see over here, I will be taking this out, and because it is on this other side, I'll take it down there and burn it. So I may capture a little bit of that footage here in a little bit. The bulk of my work will be over on this side, because I'm going to end up, you know, I'm not going to drag it over here and then drag it to burn it. All I'll have to do is just toss it over the fence and then load it on the trailer and take it over to the spot that I typically burn. But it looks like a lot, but you know, it really isn't. In the grand scheme of things, for one man to do the work, it is a lot. But I'm up to the challenge, and so here we go.